And remembering there's a huge difference between rostering and wage management. Rostering is a subsection of wage management, but one of the most important parts of wage management is to do actual versus budget on daily wages and have the same obsession about it being managed well as you do the cash up. And then linking this back to cost of goods, what I said just before was you also need to be reporting weekly on your wages, actual versus what you budgeted. What's the difference at the end of the week? My other advice is you have to have the same approach around reporting around cost of goods. And I would recommend to you, when things are economically difficult and you are trying to maintain margin, I would be stock taking on a weekly basis. Best practice is to stock take on a monthly basis, but I would be stock taking on a weekly basis. Now, if a full stock take on a weekly basis feels too much for you, that's okay. What you do on a weekly basis is you take the key proteins of your business, which is your fish, your chicken, your steak. These are the highest selling items in your kitchen. The seafood, that's more expensive than your spices and your sugars. And what you do is you stock take your key proteins, red meat proteins and or high cost proteins. Second form of protein is your dairy. And that is also butter, cheese. They're also very expensive. They're like gold at the moment as well. So even if you go, do I have to do the whole thing every week? If you're systemized enough through the technology and tools just to do a full stock take, I would. But if you're feeling like that's too much, we're not at that level yet, then make sure you're stock taking your key proteins, and that will have a huge impact on, and report on those weekly, as I said with wage management, and report on stock and wage management on a weekly basis. And if you do those two things, you will go a long way to managing your margin and hitting that gross profit target, regardless of what you're turning over. When it comes to controlling your margin right now, number one, focus on controlling the margin you're making, your menu and your drinks list. Control the top 10. Know that you're getting the margin that you need from those 20 items. Secondly, stock take your key proteins on a weekly basis to ensure that you are controlling that part of your business, because if you're leaking in your proteins, that will have an enormous impact on your cost of goods, e.g. it rising. Other point I'd make is take wage management as seriously as you can, and you do that through daily reporting. Treat the daily reporting of wages like you treat the daily reporting of your cash up. If your cash up was out by $50, you would go and find where the money is. If your wages are overspent by $100 or $200 a day, there has to be a question asked, where and why have we overspent based on the budget that we set? And if your turnover is lower than you even expected, and the managers aren't managing the wages or the roster on that day to reduce hours based on lowering revenue, then you are just going to have a wage blowout. And both with cost of goods and wages now, you have to be all over it, because turnover's dropped, cost control must be front and center in your business.